All right, guys, so there's times in our society when prominent leftists and liberals, particularly those in the entertainment industry that are celebrities, things like that, they will almost take the red pill, right? They'll pick it up, okay? They'll put it to their mouth, and they will consider taking it, okay? Because some of these people, right, have been played so much by the Democrats and their own base, the progressive base, that they're starting to realize that a lot of the things coming from their side is BS, right? It's a whole lot of BS, especially when it comes to the Democrat Party, right? We've seen this happen with Sarah Silverman, okay? She came out here, said some comments about Joy Reid, basically telling her, look, you need to read an article before you actually comment on it. They tried to say she was racist, right? Even though she is a leftist, okay? Because she insinuated, according to them, that a black woman didn't read, right? So she got to taste her own medicine. Charlamagne The God, who this video is about today, he routinely gets played by the Democrats. Okay, you guys remember? He's the guy that Joe Biden was in an interview with and basically said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. To his face, right? And Charlamagne The God just took it. Okay, he bent over and still voted for Joe Biden because, you know, Kamala's a black woman, right? The VP is a black woman. Allegedly she's a black woman. Okay? Then Charlamagne got played by Kamala herself. Okay, in that recent interview that he did with her, in which, you know, he tried to press her on why the Democrats weren't getting stuff done, and Kamala Harris raised her finger at him and basically put him in his place, right? Letting him know that, hey, you don't have the right to be asking me questions like this. You don't have the right to be pressing me on why we're not getting stuff done. And then proceeds not to answer the question that he's been asking the whole time in the interview about Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, right? Again, this guy routinely gets played by the Democrat Party, and at some point, you're going to realize that you're getting played and that enough is enough. And in this podcast clip, it seems that Charlamagne may see the light, right? He may be coming to the light as he basically asks, where's Trump while ranting against the Democrat Party and their failures? Take a look.
Now, y'all notice that ISIS doesn't even exist no more?
I ain't heard
COVID
ISIS
came
in a
around,
minute.
killed ISIS.
I ain't heard ISIS in a minute.
Right?
I ain't heard ISIS in a minute.
COVID killed everything.
20 years we've been in the Middle East trying to get rid of terrorism. All we need is COVID.
That's why I'm so interested this year, because it's the midterm year.
So it's like, what
is the boogeyman? What is going to be the boogeyman? Who is going to be the boogeyman?
We're not scared of COVID no more, right? So it's like, what is going to be the motherfucking thing that scares us?
We're not scared of dictatorship. We're not scared of authoritarian rule.
Bro,
we're not scared of minority rule. We're not.
We're not scared of nothing.
I'm hearing it. I'm listening to people be like, man, where's Trump?
Yeah.
Get this motherfucker out of here. Like, I'm serious. Like, motherfuckers, they feel like they would rather get it raw.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? At least we know where that motherfucker stood. These motherfuckers is gassing us up, lying to us, promising us shit and didn't deliver.
Like,
I cannot wait to see, and I'm already watching it. I'm watching Democrats start the campaign. They're already like, Hillary, you gotta go out there and vote. Like, democracy depends on it. I'm like, when y'all gonna start governing like democracy depends on it? No, for real. Like, stop telling me that the death of democracy is upon us, but you're not governing like it is.
Yeah.
If you're like Joe Biden gave that speech this week, he's calling out all the Republicans. Like, I'm tired of being quiet. You're tired of being quiet, but you're still being quiet about all the Democrats that are blocking your agenda. You're being quiet about the mansions and the cinemas, you know, and the Kellys who don't want to get rid of the filibuster so you can pass voting rights. Why you not calling them out?
Yeah.
All that shit is performative until everybody gets it across the board.
Why you not calling out AOC for going to Florida after shitting all over and catching COVID?
That don't really matter.
Oh, yeah, now it's okay.
I get it. I mean, it's hypocritical.
It's okay.
No, it's hypocritical.
Now she's talking all this shit about Florida and DeSantis, all this shit. Now she's going down there, partying, catching COVID. Now she can't do her job. She's sick with COVID, can't do her fucking job.
I'm with you, but it's just like, I just don't like the president. And you know what else I don't like? I don't like people in power acting like they don't have power. That's the other reason people like the Trumps of the world. That's why people like the Putins.
Because those motherfuckers in power that are doing powerful shit.
That's right.
Yes, we like it. At the end of the day.
I don't know. Like, I don't know who the boss is.
Yeah.
And humans don't want to admit that shit, but we like a boss because it makes ourselves feel comfortable.
We don't like weakness.
We don't, especially in our leadership.
Democrats look weak.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats look weak, bro.
Soft.
It's like control your hoes.
But they
you know
are.
what I mean? If you the pimp,
control us.
Control your goddamn hoes.
The only thing they are is controlling their hoes. That's
I don't want to hear about what Joe Manchin is doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Is he the boss?
Are you the president?
All right, guys. So that is an example of almost taking the red pill. Okay, almost, right? Just like Sarah Silverman. I'm holding up to my mouth. I want to take it. I want to swallow it. However, I just can't because, I want to be Team Democrat, right? As you notice in that clip, it starts off with him basically saying, like, what is going to be the boogeyman? There's always something that the media or the politicians are trying to scare us about, right? That's just kind of how it works. And what Charlamagne The God is saying is that, okay, what is going to scare us about from the midterms? And then he brings up the whole, democracy thing, the attack on democracy. And during that conversation, you can tell that he knows that the whole save democracy thing, that democracy is under attack, you got to vote for us to save democracy, is bullshit, right? You can tell that he knows it. He knows that it is, okay? And this is why I've been telling people the whole time. How in the world is democracy under attack when more people voted than ever in the last election? How is democracy under attack? How are votes being suppressed when, factually speaking, this is just a fact, more people voted than ever? So how is democracy under attack? How is votes being suppressed? They don't have an answer, right? And that's why, anytime you ask a Democrat or a liberal, okay, how many people's votes have been suppressed? What percentage of people's votes have been suppressed because of GOP voting laws? They can't give you a number. They can't give you an answer because they don't have any evidence, right? They're just making it up, okay? And people that are smart, right, realize that, okay, this is a lot of BS. And one thing I would challenge Charlemagne The God on, because he seems to want the Democrat agenda, right? He's mad that the Democrat agenda is not passing, right? Because he's like, well, if the Democrats are not going to pass their agenda, then we might as well have Trump, right? That's where the "where's Trump" comment comes from. Not from the fact that I think he likes Trump or that he probably would even vote for Trump. I still don't think he would, okay? He ain't built like that. But I think what he's saying is that, well, if this is what Democrats going to do, why don't we just have Trump? And I would challenge him and say, well, Charlamagne, what about what the Democrats is doing is supposed to be good for black people? You think passing this voting rights bill is going to help more black people vote? Right? Like, what is that going to do for black people? The only thing this voting rights bill is going to do, so-called voting rights, is empower Democrats. It's going to empower people to vote for more Democrats, right? That's what's going to happen because they're going to try to basically control the state elections, right? Regulate state elections from the federal level. What does that do for black people besides put more Democrats in power? Because as you can see, putting Democrats in power doesn't do anything for black folks, right? The Democrats haven't fulfilled one of their promises yet. They haven't fulfilled one of them, except, Biden saying that, hey, I might put a black woman on the Supreme Court. That's what he'll do. And he say, look, you Negroes, right? Y'all complain about me not doing anything for y'all. Look, I put a black woman on the Supreme Court. But again, I will ask, what does that do for black people? How does it help black people? It doesn't. The things that, you can make an argument might help black people, the Democrats have not done. It's not because they can't do it, it's because they simply don't want to. For example, like police reform. They simply don't want to work with Tim Scott on police reform. They simply just don't want to do it. They don't want to come to a reasonable compromise. They want to nationalize police. Tim Scott's like, no, let's take a conservative effort to police reform. Gather data, ban some of the things that everybody agrees should be banned, require body cameras, basic stuff, common sense stuff that I think most people agree with. That's what Tim Scott is proposing. Democrats are like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to go further than that. So then, instead of just compromising with Tim Scott and passing the bill just to say, hey, look, we did it. We passed the bill. We will see how it works. And then we will, maybe do more legislation in the future if necessary. Instead of doing that, they're just like, no, we're just not going to do it. Right? I mean, Democrats right out the gate, okay, reneged on their promise to give people $2,000 stimulus checks. Right? Which, I mean, hey, in hindsight, the stimulus checks probably weren't a good idea considering inflation. But I'm just saying, they said they were going to do it, and then it was like, no, we only going to give you what was it, $1,400 or something like that? That should have told you from the beginning that the Democrats are swindlers, right? That's what they are. They'll make a whole bunch of promises just to break those promises. They have no intent on keeping them. Biden said he was going to shut down the virus. Guess what? He didn't do it. He didn't shut down the virus. You can make the argument that things are worse under Biden. And Biden inherited vaccines. So again, people like Charlamagne The God here, he seems to be coming to the light, but he's not quite there yet because his main concern is, well, the Democrats are not passing the agenda. They're not fulfilling their promises, which I 100% agree with if you agree with this stuff. But my question is, why do you agree with it? Why do you think that, we need this voting rights bill? Why do you think that's a big thing, right? Why do you think we need Biden's social spending package, his Build Back Better plan? Why do you think that's going to help black people? at the very least, when it comes to Trump has enacted policies that, at least seem to be directly beneficial towards black people, right? Or to disproportionately benefit black people. Put it that way, right? Like the First Step Act, okay? Prison reform, like opportunity zones, okay? Tax incentives basically to invest in so-called low income and downtrodden areas, right? Tax incentives. Trump proposed the Platinum Plan for Black America, which in my opinion, I think was more of an infrastructure bill, and Trump was framing that as a plan for Black America, which in my opinion is kind of genius because I would love to see the Democrats vote against it, right? But Trump actually put out things and said, hey, this is what I want to do that is going to help America, but will, benefit black folks, right? This is what Trump said. Trump actually did it. He actually came to the table with that. What have the Democrats done? Nothing, right? Nothing. Biden didn't even feel the need to sit down with Ice Cube to articulate a plan that he might have, to get any feedback from Ice Cube or share any ideas, because they don't really think they need to talk to you guys, right? They don't really care about what y'all have to say. All they're concerned about is making sure that y'all vote. And a way to get y'all to vote is just to tell y'all, well, them Republicans, they racist, right? Without evidence, by the way, right? All they gotta do is say Republicans are racist, Trump's a racist. That's all you gotta do. And black people, they just line up and vote Democrat, right? Just because they're scared of the racist Republicans. But again, Charlamagne the God here, as you can see, he's kind of realizing, okay, this is a ruse. This is a finesse. For all the stuff that Democrats talk about, if they're not going to fulfill their promises, they're not going to do anything. What is the difference between having them and having Trump? At least with Trump, we know what we're getting, right? You know exactly what you're getting for Trump. And I feel like there's a whole lot of people in this country that are thinking that way right now. That's like, you know what? The Democrats and the mainstream liberal media told us all of America's problems was because of Trump. But as soon as the dude left office, everything fell apart. Everything got worse, right? So they're realizing that America's been tricked, right? America's been fooled. The Democrat Party and the mainstream media have fooled America into thinking that Trump was the problem, when you can see now that it wasn't Trump, right? Trump wasn't the problem. So, yeah, I mean, Charlamagne here, he's kind of turning on the Democrats, but at the same time, he kind of isn't, because at the end of the day, I would not expect somebody like him, despite knowing this, he's still not going to go to the polls and vote for a Republican, right? He's not going to vote Republican. He's going to continue to vote Democrat, right? And that's the sad part about this. He knows he's getting played, but he continues to go and vote for the people that are playing him anyways, just because he's so afraid of the racist Republicans. It's kind of sad, right? It's kind of sad. It's almost like these people have Stockholm syndrome, okay? They're in love with their abusers, right? That's what it seems like to me. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.